Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Auto Afflicted, and today we're going to do front brakes, just the pads, on this 2009 C300 W204. Doing it in the yard because, as you can see, I got quite a few bends in the driveway and my clear pad of cement is clear all the way in there. Before we get our hands dirty, please take a moment, drop a like on this. It's right down here on your phone, or scroll down if you're watching on the TV, it's right there. Maybe subscribe. The subscribe is probably here, and the notifications so that you can find out when there's a new episode. It's around here somewhere. Have you done it? Thank you. Now let's get into it. All right, so before we start taking this apart, let's talk about how we got here. Not how we got in the driveway working on our own stuff. That was my choice. But how we got to this point. All right, so of course my jack broke, hydraulic jack broke. So I'm running the sketchy standard jack that comes with the car, but jack safety, right? So I've got jack stands. I got my other wheel chucked, so the car is not going to roll. I got the e-brake on. Broke the lug nuts loose while the car was down on the ground and the tire was in contact because I'm not using power tools. And so here we are. Now let's start taking this thing apart. What you're going to need is you're going to need a 13 for the back here. You're going to need a 17 for a little nut here. And I'm going to get a better shot on this so you can get a good look here. All right, so here's my little tip of the day. I run my mechanics gloves over some other gloves for two reasons. One, because the mechanics gloves eventually do soak oil in here, and then that just ruins your fingers and defeats the point of the gloves. But then also, instead of tearing through gloves nonstop, I got these for thickness. Anyway, so what you're going to need here is a 13 on the back. You need a 17 here, but you need a pretty thin 17 because there's a very small space to get into there. And I'd also get yourself some sort of clamp, because you're going to need to push the piston back in here once we get this off. And I think that's all you're going to need for this. So let's get started here. So right here, you just pull the wear sensor. I'm going to pull the wear sensor straight off of here. It just comes straight out. Just get it on it with the needle nose and pull it right out. I'm not reusing this one, so I'm just tearing it out. I'm not too worried about it. As long as I don't break anything. There we go, wear sensor's out. This here, where the wear sensor plugs in, you can pull this off. What I'm gonna do is leave it intact. So right here you can see these clips. These are just holding the wires on for the wear sensor. So I'm gonna pop this off here. And just gently popping the wires off there so they're loose here, like this. And now that I've got my bolts off back here, my caliper is going to come off. So that was a little bit of a struggle to get those off. Wow. pad is looking worn down to nothing. Same for this side, worn down to nothing. There's the rest of this wear sensor that's in there. So pretty simple, clips and pads out. Now we need to compress the piston. You don't want to dangle your caliper on the hose or the wires, so I've just got it balanced up here. Some people like to use a clip or something to hang it off there so that it doesn't drop. But now we're going to compress this piston back in, and I'm going to use this C-clamp that barely fits. I highly recommend a larger one, and I'm actually going to go ahead and put one of the old brake pads. I'm going to put that up against the piston on the inside and compress it like that. And so right here I just got it kind of finagled in here. I'm on a solid piece of the caliper, and I've got the brake pad in here against the piston, and I'm just slowly tightening this up and compressing that piston. As you're pushing fluid back up into the reservoir this way, you may see some fluid coming out, but it should be all right. So you just want to get this piston all the way compressed, because as your brakes wear down, the piston just keeps extending, of course. So it's never going to go back together without compressing the piston, and you'll have a bad day. And so there we go, I got the piston pushed all the way back in, just how I like it. And now I'm ready to start putting stuff back together. I went with this Akebono brake pad set from FCP Euro. It was a good price. It's supposed to be really low brake dust, and I don't know, I just like FCP Euro, so this is what I'm going with. Does come with the clips, comes with wear sensors, and also comes with some lube. Make sure you put the lube in the right spots or you're never going to stop. You want to make sure to have the supplied lubricant on all your contact points, where the clip goes in here, on the back sides of the brake pad, and up in here, all the little moving spots that'll keep the squealing from happening. Just apply a little bit and then spread it to those various surfaces. You don't really need a lot. I'll get some on here. Make sure you don't get it on your rotor. You don't want it on your rotor. And then just snap this guy into place. Boom, right up in there. All right, so I got both the clips lubed and installed. Now I'm gonna lube the back sides of the brake pads, nice and easy. Just apply a little lube and kind of paint it on there. Don't need it a lot, just gonna get it painted on there. And then this guy's gonna go right in here like that. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, now that we got both pads installed, we're just gonna go back to it. The caliper should go back on pretty nice and easy. Boom, easy. Get your bolts back in there. You're gonna wanna put these back on snug. I don't know what the torque spec is for these, but get them on nice and tight. Don't over crank them. Now that we got the caliper tightened up, I'm gonna reattach the sensor wire here into the clip. And then I'm gonna install my replacement sensor here. New wear sensor right here. And we're just gonna plug that right back in. All right, so I got the wear sensor installed here and then got the loop so it's not rubbing on anything. Just nice and easy right there. All right, so there you go. Brake pads installed. Double check your work, make sure all your things are tight, make sure your sensor wires are back in place, all that good stuff. Pop your wheel back on, torque your lug nuts, and don't forget to follow the brake pad manufacturer's specifications for braking. And that's it. Super easy. I rate this like a 1 out of 10 for yard mechanics. So thank you guys. As always, please drop a like on it. If you're not subscribed already, think about subscribing. And if you are subscribed and you don't have the notifications on, maybe hit the notifications. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good one.